Very good evening from London. Has been a session dominated very much by the ECB press conference earlier out of the President Draghi not bringing any new concrete measures to the table against market expectations, and therefore witnessing a quite brutal sell-off in the riskier asset classes, particularly in the equity futures and the euro currency, which was sold across the board. Draghi specifically noting in his terms that it is pointless to short the euro, very much not the case in the session today, and consequently then the fixed income markets supported across the board. Where do we go from here then? The onus is now back on the national governments to request aid from the European rescue mechanisms such as the EFSF. This is the current procedure set in stone, and it will be up to the national governments then to withhold the inevitable storm that any request for peripheral bond yield aid would entail. Looking ahead into the rest of the session, it's relatively quiet in terms of economic data. We do have Kraft earnings out overnight. We'll be looking to see whether the inflationary factors which have recently come into the United States factor into their earnings report and their guidance going forward. But otherwise, the session is relatively quiet. Market participants are awaiting the key non-farm payrolls report. Again, consensus expected at 100,000. That hasn't really changed, even though we've had three central banks out in recent times, the Fed, the ECB and the Bank of England. So that's the next market moving data out tomorrow, and that will capture market attention. Just as a reminder, the Chicago PMI and the ISM employment indexes have fallen from the previous in this week, but we did see also a change in the challenger job cuts on the ADP data coming into the upside against expectations yesterday. So it will be another key non-farm payrolls report, especially with the Fed using this report in its next decision on whether any quantitative easing will be merited. But that's enough from me. Hope you've had a good trading day, and we'll join you bright and early tomorrow morning. Thank you.